Hello everyone from snowy Moscow. We did not have much snow during the winter, and we have it now. And next couple of days, it's gonna be sort of snowstorm or something here. It's nicer, I like winter snow, and so it's all okay for me. But many people are quite upset due to this weather. Now it's 10 o'clock, and I have prepared quite a number of news about some major developments, and hopefully you will find this video informative and useful. And I will start with the latest update from Russian Defense Ministry on work of Russian air defense systems that intercepted 22 drones that were launched by Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky last night and early hours of this morning. 6 regions were targeted, among them Kalmykia and Astrakhan. And in Astrakhan direction, unfortunately, there was casualties among civilians, according to reports that I see on other sources. During the day, probably we'll receive some updates on that, and of course, I will share additional information on my Telegram and Twitter X page. We also have this quite interesting report on RIA Novosti, which is based on pro-Russian resistance on Kiev-controlled territory, according to which about 30 officers from NATO countries are surrounded in the Kursk region, and these officers were participating in command and control of entire this grouping of forces of Kiev regime in the Kursk salient. So they were not commanding some platoons or the companies. They were actually in charge of more or less large-scale operations and overseeing this invasion. And when I see this report yesterday, I don't know what is your reaction right now, but when I see this news yesterday, I finally receive an answer on the question, why did Trump ask Russian president to spare the lives of surrounded enemy forces in the Kursk salient area? Probably many people worldwide was kind of confused when Trump come up with such a statement. And me too, by the way. I was also kind of confused. I mean, what the hell? Why US president is talking about some surrounded troops of formerly Kiev regime? And then I see this report, and there everything become clear. Trump was asking to spare lives of NATO officers. That's what it is, by the way. Probably countries from where these officers coming from did ask Washington to, mediate with Moscow so that the lives of these officers will be spared. And probably they are hoping that Russia will allow these officers to escape from Kursk salient. But I don't think so. I don't think so. In any ways, I think it does make sense, isn't it? That these NATO officers were reason why Trump asked Russian president to spare the lives of the enemy troops there in the salient. And if pro-Russian resistance has information about some 30 NATO officers, a real number of NATO troops in the Kursk salient area probably are significantly higher. And if so, I guess Russian troops will, during the battles, a number of them probably was already neutralized, but some of them probably will end up taken prisoner. And if so, in upcoming days, maybe we will see some reports about it on Russian TV. And then, these NATO officers will be paraded on TV screens worldwide, I guess. So quite interesting news, isn't it? Quite interesting news, because as many of you, I am too, was really confused when I see these reports that Trump is asking Russian president to spare the lives of the enemy forces. I was thinking, what the hell, man? Nobody from the West ever come up with such a stuff before, at least, and now this. I was a bit confused, but now I have an answer. I don't know about you, dear friends, what you think about this, but to me personally, this is a good indicator that Trump was talking about NATO officers in reality, not about Kiev regime's forces that he has no care about. Hardly he cares about these NATO officers too, but if he was asked by UK, France, Poland, Germany, some other countries to, mediate to release these officers or to at least save their lives, Trump could ask in that case Russian president for that. And when it comes to developments in Kursk salient area itself, liberation, counter-terrorist operation to liberate Kursk salient is finalized. Clearing operation is underway. According to some reports, last two settlements that was disputed between the sides, Garnal and Aleshnya, are under Russian control. According to some other reports, these two settlements are still disputed. In any case, this counter-terrorist operation in large is finished, and clearing operation obviously might take some time, because if you take a look at the map, dear friends, there is a lot of forestry area. Landscape is quite difficult. Terrain is quite a difficult one, and there is plenty of areas where small units or in some cases even more or less large units of the Kiev regime forces might try to hide and then step by step move towards Sumy region to escape, right? So therefore clearing operation and after that demining operation will take quite a while, but counter-terrorist operation itself is definitely finalized. And also interesting nuance, on the northern side from Aleshnya there is a gas station, by the way. If we zoom in, you can see this gas station that was play crucial role in transit of Russian gas through Kiev-controlled territory into Europe. This pipeline network is no longer working after Kiev regime decided to hold the transit of the Russian gas, and as a result of that decision, by the way, Russian troops used some part of this gas pipeline to conduct this legendary operation to start this final phase of the liberation of the Kursk salient, when Russian troops, some 800 Russian stormtroopers, moved through this gas pipeline for 10-15 kilometers underground and come out from pipeline in the Suja area, in the vicinity of Suja, and basically they started their offensive, they started their operations that bring down entire defense lines of the Kiev regime in this direction. Kiev regime and the NATO, by the way, in this direction. And I'm saying NATO because, well, NATO officers were in charge there, isn't it? It seems like. And once again, even though this is a not official statement about NATO officers being encircled in the Kursk salient area, pro-Russian underground or pro-Russian resistance many times proved to be correct in their reports, and therefore I have no reason to doubt this report. In any case, probably number of these NATO officers eventually will end up in Russian captivity, and most likely we will see some videos of that in short time. Let's see. Also, reports are coming in, and by the way, when it comes to our line of contact, also it's not just a Kursk salient, obviously, where battles are taking place. I understand their attention is on Kursk salient at this point, but Russian troops also are active in other sectors of the front line, and for example, in the western flank of Zaporizhzhia sector of the front line, Russian troops significantly intensified their operations, and according to latest reports, Shirbaki settlement, Malay Shirbaki settlement, and Stipove settlement was liberated during the previous 24 to 48 hours. So I will say significant progress on a sectoral scale in this direction for Russian militaries. That's being said, let's go through some other news. And now, obviously, many military experts and people worldwide that are paying attention to this proxy war that West is waging against Russia are predicting that Russian armed forces probably will not stop on the border with the Sumy region and will continue offensive operations further, and this is clearly a possibility. I also think that Russian troops probably will, once this clearing operation is finalized, Russian troops probably will start creating a buffer zone in the Sumy region, and there are many areas will be liberated for Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky. Although Russian troops may launch a major offensive operation in any other direction too, not just in the direction of Sumy, but in the direction of Kharkov region, in the direction of Pokrovsk, or in the direction of Zaporizhzhia sector, for example, right? But in any ways, we have this report that according to pro-Russian resistance, Russian forces conducted long-range precise strike on hangars or warehouses where Kyiv regime was storing military equipment, and this equipment was destroyed. It was a successful long-range strikes, and once again, this information may be seen as at least partial indicator that Russian troops definitely not going to stop on our border with the Sumy region, and they will continue because a hunt is on the way to destroy as much warehouses where Kyiv regime is storing weapons and munition in the Sumy region. There are constant strikes on points of deployment of Kyiv regime's forces in this area and in many other areas also. So therefore, it is definitely a possibility that Russian troops will not stop and continue offensive in a Sumy direction. TASS news agency is also reporting that about 400 civilians were evacuated from Suja district, from liberated settlements. Unfortunately, hundreds of people were unable to escape during this invasion of the Kyiv regime's forces and the NATO mercenaries, and tragically many of them lost their lives. Kyiv regime's forces, NATO mercenaries, were torturing and executing dozens and dozens of civilians, and the ones that were left alive were treated inhumanely. And yesterday, for example, I saw this horrifying video, by the way, when Russian troops liberated one of the settlements, and this was a film. They went to one house, and they saw elderly woman that was wounded, by the way, and she was starving. She was starving. This Kyiv regime's forces and NATO mercenaries, they were acting as Nazi Germany was acting during their Second World War. And they were torturing, killing civilians, and they were starving civilians to death. That's against whom we are fighting, by the way. I did not share that video. It was, really heartbreaking. I did not share that video even on my Telegram channel, by the way. I try to, minimize this extremely difficult videos on my Telegram, but probably many of you did saw that video on other channels. So that's against whom we are fighting, by the way. These Nazis and fascists, real fascists, by the way, and terrorists. Hello everyone. If you find this video interesting and useful, please click that like button, leave some commentary and share with your friends. If you like my work and want to support this project, you can do it through several means. All the links are on this video in the description box and in the pinned comment, including links to my Patreon and Boosty pages, where you can have access to full shows in case you are interested. Thank you.